What's up, friends? Let's talk about water. We all need it. It's like oxygen, and the truth is there is so much power in hydration. Now, I believe there are two kinds of people when it comes to water. There are people who are like my husband, who drink so incessantly, like we cannot leave the house. We can be running so late to a wedding, and he's like, sorry, I gotta go back in and get my water bottle with ice at the right temperature. He's like the kind that we have to pee on the way in and out of our Costco trips. But if you're in this category, you're probably like, yes, let's talk about water. I'm so excited to level up my hydration. Then there's this other category of folks who, for some reason, really feel this resistance to drinking water. It's like, for some reason, not drinking adequate water is a place that some like to allow their inner rebel to shine, and they just don't want to do it. They don't like drinking out of water bottles. They don't like the inconvenience of peeing all day. They just don't like water. So my hope today is, whether you are like my husband or you're in this latter category or somewhere in between, that you take away some way to level up your own hydration wherever you're at. And some of it's going to be basics like getting enough, learning how to read your own biofeedback to ensure you're getting enough fluid. And then for those who are ready, there are some really cool ways we can take hydration to the next level, and we can get more out of the liquids that we're drinking, because like I said, there's power in hydration, but we can actually amplify that with just a few tweaks and get more out of what we're sipping out of our water bottle. And I'm not talking about wine. Have you guys seen those tumblers that say there's a good possibility this is wine or there's vodka in this? No, friends, no. We're talking about actually hydrating our bodies and how to level it up on a day-to-day basis. But before we dive into all the hydration stuff, I have to tell you guys, the other day I was talking to my mom. My mom's amazing. She's in my corner. She's been like my number one fan since birth. Obviously, she's known me the longest, and I'm so grateful for her. And in this journey of starting this podcast, she's been so awesome and encouraging me and just always reminding me that I can rise to the next level. I can rise to the occasion, and I'm capable of more than I give myself credit for. So major shout out to my mama. I love you. You're so awesome. But I was talking to her the other day and I said, hey, have you ever left me a review? And she said, no, why would I leave you a review? I tell you that your podcast is great. I was like, because it really helps me. So y'all, if you have not left me a review, would you do me a favor? Would you pause for a minute? Would you head on over to iTunes? You can scroll down and it will say where the reviews are. Right under it says leave a review. Go ahead and click on that. Rate my podcast. Write me a note. This really helps me spread the word. So thank you, Mom, for finally leaving me a review. And to those of you who are going to do the same, I appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and dive into how to level up your hydration. Hey, awesome. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I know you're ready to stop falling into diet culture traps and finally put together a realistic plan on how to boost your energy. You might feel stuck because you can't quite kick the chocolate habit. The whole body love thing isn't getting the job done. Or maybe you're at an impasse because you are pushing it in the gym, but you can't figure out how and what to eat. How many times have you Googled best diet and found that the latest trend has failed you? Hey girl, I'm Jess. Registered dietitian, wife, mama, and total science and nutrition research junkie. I too used to be stuck in this cycle of insecurity and never feeling like my body was good enough. Then I tried to fix it with food, only to end up right back where I started. I did some really hard work. I found food freedom. But then I was confused on how to eat healthy and get fit without falling back into diet culture crazy. I wish someone would have taught me the difference between discipline and obsession. I wanted to be the healthiest version of myself by balancing healthy eating with food freedom. Like, how do I actually eat healthy, get fit, and have donuts with my kids? It wasn't until I figured out this awesome balance between discipline and permission, the art of intentional eating with sprinkles of flexibility. The empowered eating model was born. Here on the show, we nix diet culture while creating values-based health goals. We reconnect with how our body responds to food through biofeedback, all the while figuring out a plan on how to get healthy and fit without sacrificing the most meaningful parts of life. Sustainability doesn't mean never eating your favorite foods again. I mean, pizza is life, right? We are here to finally not just feel comfortable, but confident in our body. I am so excited to fuel your awesome with empowered eating. Head on over to jessbrownrd.com and grab my 3 Steps to Empowered Eating guide, totally free. Or hop onto my e-course, Food Foundations, to get the step-by-step deets on how I got here. All right, you ready to take your inner awesome to the next level? So grab that cup of coffee, lace up those running shoes, because girl, it's time to go. I'm so excited to talk about this. This is the true cheers and happy eating episode. We talk a lot about food, but let's talk about the cheers aspect and how we can cheers each other to being more hydrated and taking better care of that fluid status within our bodies. Now, we each have very individual needs. It's true for our food, our protein, our total energy needs. It's also true for our fluids. So today I'm going to be talking about some general guidelines, but just know that these are general, right? Like you have your own unique story and take what applies to you and what may not. It's okay to leave it here and not take that on, all right? Okay, so let's talk about the two goals of hydration. We've got a main goal and a secondary goal, and we've got to do the main before we move on to the secondary and the bonus stuff. We have to lay the foundations, right? This is what I talk about in food foundations. It's like we cannot level up our nutrition until we have the foundation there first. Same goes with our fluid. Okay, so the main goal of hydration is to keep fluid levels high enough to allow your metabolism to function properly. Friends, all of the metabolic processes in our body require H2O. So we have to make sure we're getting enough. Some of the biofeedback markers that you will find letting you know that you're getting adequate amounts of fluid is that you will be peeing every 1 to 2 hours. And when you do pee, it is a lightly tinted or clear liquid that's coming out. It shouldn't be pungent in odor. It shouldn't be a darker color. It really should be like that light yellow to clear color. And that's going to be an indication that you have awesome levels of fluid within your body. Some other biofeedback markers might be like the turgor of your skin, how flexible your skin feels. If you pick up some of your skin on your arm and it takes a while to go back down, friends, your cells are dehydrated. You can also see it in your face and the whites of your eyes. And I have to tell you the story of when I was pregnant. So when I was pregnant, I was so thirsty. I was pregnant over the summers, and here in New Mexico, it's very, very hot. So I had this giant cup with a straw, and I drank all day long. I just couldn't get enough fluids. Well, I remember when I was pregnant, I'd go, because I was peeing all the time. So I'd wash my hands and I'd look at the mirror and I was like, gosh, the whites of my eyes look so nice. They never look this white. What the heck? Well, then pregnancy ended. I went back to my previous coffee drinking ways, and I didn't carry that water bottle around anymore. I'd go to the restroom and I'd look, and sure enough, the whites of my eyes were not the same level of white. They were kind of red. I always looked more tired. And I remember, this is so embarrassing because I was a dietitian at the time, but I remember thinking, what is it? Did I just have better blood flow when I was pregnant? That my skin and, all my cells had more oxygen flowing to it, and now I just don't. So I don't have that pregnant glow anymore. What is it? Well, after trial and error and some investigative work, I finally clicked that it was my water. I had stopped drinking so much water because that thirst mechanism wasn't there. It wasn't summer anymore. I had traded some of my coffee back into my regular routine, and I hadn't maintained my hydration status. So leveled up my fluids, and sure enough, the whites of my eyes are whiter again. I share that with people, and now y'all are going to know if you ever see me in person and my eyes aren't very white. Either I'm not drinking enough water, I'm drinking too much coffee, or I slept bad. Those are the three things. But these are some of the biofeedback markers we can look for to see if we are getting adequate fluids. And I love looking for those because I think it's really helpful to remind us to drink water. So now I drink water very intuitively and naturally. I don't measure out my fluids. Instead, what I do is I pay attention. And when I go to the restroom, washing my hands, I look at my eyes in the mirror. And if the whites of my eyes aren't as white as I would like them to be, I do a quick inventory. How much coffee have I had today? How much water have I had today? And do I need to modify those ratios? Do I need to go refill my water bottle? Biofeedback is so cool. It is so helpful. It really helps some of these new habits we're trying to build stick. And it helps us when we fall off or don't stick with it because, friends, life happens, right? Like I forget my water bottle and I notice I'm not hydrated, but it helps me get back on track. And I don't feel like I have to, download an app or write down all these equations. It's just as simple as I look at the whites of my eyes and I go, oh, time to go get some water. All right, so that's the main goal of hydration. We have to have enough to keep our metabolism functioning properly, and we can use the biofeedback to ensure we are getting enough. The secondary goal of hydration is to get in the good stuff and balance out some of the dehydrators. So some of the dehydrators come also in liquid form. These are going to be sugar-based beverages, coffee, and alcohol. Each of these are dehydrators. So in other words, when we have these, while we're taking in fluid, we are also pushing out fluid at a faster rate. So for example, if you have a 120 milliliter cup of coffee and it has 80 milligrams of caffeine, you actually lose 80 milliliters of water there. So we only net what is that? 120 minus 80, is that 60? Oh my gosh, I can't do math in my head. Let's say it's 60, and if I'm wrong, just forgive me for a second because I don't do math in my head on the fly. But we net that 60 milliliters of water within our body, and we've lost the 80 milliliters because that's how much caffeine was in it. And then alcohol and sugar-based beverages both act as dehydrators. Alcohol specifically is a massive dehydrator. It also pulls glycogen, which is our stored carbohydrate, from inside our muscles and our livers. So we not only wake up dehydrated, but we also don't have as much of a energy reserve within our body. So we definitely want to counteract these sugar-based or alcoholic beverages should we choose to have them. So in this secondary goal, we're working to counteract some of the dehydrators, but we can also work to amplify our hydration status. Now, if you're anything like me, once upon a time, you lived in this world where you had a rule that goes like this: don't drink your calories. How many of you have said that to yourself, have lived by that? If you are here now, I just want y'all to know that there is a way around this, and it doesn't have to be the rule. I want to invite you to challenge it, because in taking our hydration to the next level, some of unlocking that secret to that next level is drinking some of our calories. Now, I'm not talking about adding in sodas or high sugar frappuccinos or beverages like that. While these are awesome as a dessert or a fun food, that's not what we're talking about here when we're talking about drinking any energy or calories from beverages. Rather, we're thinking about how we might use liquids with added bonuses to level up our hydration, our nutrition, while we're juggling all the things. And here's a perfect example. My sister-in-law texted me this week and said, hey, Jess, around between 2 and 4 p.m., I get really hungry, but I am so busy. She's a teacher, and she is, that's end of day. Kids are high energy. Parents are picking kids up, wrapping up the day. There's so much going on for teachers in that time block. So for her, I said, okay, here's a few ideas. Or if you're super busy, you could just have a protein shake. And she loved this idea because she's like, yes, I don't have time to, go get a Chobani yogurt from the fridge, but I do have time to pull out a protein shake. And if you're using a beverage at this hour to provide you with sustenance, there's a couple things we want to think of. Protein shakes are a great way to have a dose of protein in a very quick and convenient manner. And then we would want to adjust the carb content or how much carbohydrate we're giving ourselves, kind of depending on what our goals are and our own medical status. So for her, she does need carbohydrate and protein in her snack. So I recommended she get Polar Joe. You guys have heard me talk about this brand before. I'm actually so excited. We're going to interview the CEO on the show here in a couple weeks. But they have great products. They have a matcha protein powder. They have a low sugar coffee cold brew protein powder. And they also have a vanilla cold brew coffee protein powder. So for her, I recommended the vanilla cold brew because it gives her a little bit of carbohydrate from the vanilla flavoring. It's got a lot of protein. And for her, she thought the hit of caffeine was something that would help her and it wouldn't hinder her sleep. So perfect combo there. And then if that's not your jam, you don't want the cold brew in the afternoon, you could totally just grab a scoop of protein powder and mix it with your favorite milk of choice. And again, we can alter that milk depending on what your goal is with that snack. Like if we want carbs to prepare you for a workout, if you're trying to cut the carb content because maybe you're monitoring your blood sugars, then we do more of like an unsweetened almond milk. So yeah, we could play with that. But bottom line, having a protein powder in liquid gives you a dose of protein mid-afternoon, which will help you hit your protein goals in a liquid form. So you're also hydrating. That's amazing. All right, so I actually jumped ahead. That's the first of these 5 beverage boosters that I'm going to talk about. But my sister-in-law was a perfect example of how you can add something like that and get a lot out of drinking just that one cup. So 5 beverage boosters I've got for you. The first is protein powder. So we already covered that. The second beverage booster that I invite people to add to their beverages is branched chain amino acids. Friends, these things are so cool. Branched chain amino acids are a specific type of protein that are metabolized directly in your muscles or your brain cells Beyond that, branched chain amino acids compete with tryptophan in entering or crossing that blood-brain barrier. So in other words, tryptophan, you guys will recognize that. That's what's in turkey and makes you really sleepy. When it's afternoon or you're going before a workout, we want to minimize, or we might want to decrease the likelihood that tryptophan gets into our brain because we need energy at that time. So having something like a powdered branched chain amino acid with your cup of water on your way to the gym or mid-afternoon can help decrease that fatigue and increase focus. So love adding powdered amino acids either before a workout or mid-afternoon. There's different kinds. There's an awesome one at Costco. It does have caffeine in it. So if that's not your jam, my favorite is Thorn amino acids or Thorn branched chain amino acids. And you guys can find that on my Wellevate site. Go to jessbrownrd.com, click on shop. You head over to supplements. It's on there. There'll be a discount on there for you guys. Super good stuff. The next one, or the next beverage booster, is tart cherry juice before bed. Tart cherry juice is a super cool beverage, and I hate that it's juice because juice gets such a bad rap. I remember when I lived in the land of don't drink your calories, juice was a major no-no, which is a bummer because I missed out on the benefits of tart cherry juice. So here's what you get when you add at least 4 ounces of tart cherry juice before bed. It is really high naturally in melatonin. So, and if y'all are like me, I have a hard time sleeping, I need some help producing my own internal melatonin. Tart cherry juice can help with that. Beyond just helping you sleep better, it is also a really potent antioxidant and helps with recovery, especially for those of you who are exercising or pushing your body kind of to that next level. So it does 2 things before bed. Helps you sleep better and improves the recovery while you sleep. Cool, right? Like all of us should go get tart cherry juice. All right, the 4th beverage booster is some sort of nootropic. If you have not heard of nootropics, it's kind of a buzzword now. First, this term was used to refer to chemicals that met a very specific criteria, but now it's really used as a more general description of anything natural or synthetic that has a positive impact on your mental skills. You can see why this is a buzzword. Who doesn't want to improve or enhance their cognitive function? I know I do. I mean, mom brain is so real. And if you don't have kids, you're still hustling super hard. So working and juggling all the things brain is also real. Now, most people who are seeking to optimize cognitive function, we have to get the basics first. And those are getting enough sleep, eating nutrient-dense foods, and managing stress. That is most important when it comes to enhancing cognitive functions. But once we have those down, the right nootropics might actually serve as a bonus, helping us think more clearly or reduce our chances of cognitive decline as we age. I'm sign me up for that. So I've done some exploration, and one of the nootropic beverages that I found that I absolutely love is Magic Mind. It's this little health shot. So you take it kind of those gut health shots you guys can get at the store. It's just like that. And what I love about this little brain boosting shot is it has some really awesome ingredients in it. So it has matcha, which matcha is naturally occurring in something called L-theanine, which, fun fact, L-theanine extends the absorption of caffeine. So I have this alongside my cup of coffee, and it's believed to then change how I am metabolizing that coffee, basically giving me the benefits of caffeine for longer. Woo. Yes, I'm here for that. There are also adaptogens in this little shot from ashwagandha. And if y'all haven't heard of adaptogens, they're, in short, essentially plants and mushrooms that are believed to help reduce our body's response to stress, manage that stress response. And that might be stress just from, day-to-day life and our to-do lists and juggling all the things, but it also might be stress from exercise. So awesome adaptogens in there. Oh, it also has turmeric, which is a potent antioxidant, and it's not something I sprinkle on my cereal. So I don't get it really anywhere in my diet regularly. So having it in this little Magic Mind shot is super cool. So yeah, that's a fun one to check out. If y'all are interested in that, head on over to magicmind.co/FHA for Fuel Her Awesome. My friends over there are giving us a sweet deal for all you guys who are listening. You can get 40% off your subscription or 20% off your one-time purchase with the code FHA20 in the next 10 days. So head on over again. That's magicmind.co/FHA. And then the 5th and final beverage booster that I like to recommend to my friends is green powders. Now, green powders, I get a lot of questions about these guys. They're like, are they as good as fruits and veggies? Should I buy them? Should I not? They're expensive. Which ones taste good? Here's my take on them. And again, Like, take what's helpful and leave what's not. But here is my thing with green powders. They are obviously not as good as fruits and vegetables. I mean, we just can't replace the God-made food and the whole foods. But we're also busy and we're on the go. And if we're drinking a cup of water and having like a bar on the go and we don't have any fruits or veggies, having a green powder in our liquid is an awesome way to get some of those antioxidant, micronutrient benefits that we might otherwise not have gotten from just eating the bar or whatever else it is we're eating. So I think green powders are a great supplement to, and supplement, not fruit and veggie replacement, but supplement to your regular hydration flow. I think it helps boost energy. And as far as which ones taste good, friends, y'all are going to have to try different ones and see, because the ones I like, I've shared with people and they don't love it. And then the ones other folks like, I try and I'm like, this is disgusting. So try out some different green powders, and no, it is a great way to get more out of the fluids you are drinking. All right, to sum it up, we need to make sure we have enough fluids, number one, and you can use your biofeedback to read that. And then if you have a solid fluid routine and you're getting adequate hydration, you can add one or all of these beverage boosters to get more out of the fluids you're drinking. One would be a protein powder. Two would be those branched chain amino acids, either before you work out or in the afternoon when you're working to combat that normal like dip in energy we all feel around like 3-ish o'clock. Adding tart cherry juice before bed to help us sleep better, have more melatonin readily available, and maybe even enhance our recovery. We can look into nootropics if that's something that you're interested in. And then the fifth and final one is, what was it? Oh yeah, green powders. Adding that green powder to one of your snacks or one of your bottles on the go. And I'm hoping this enhances or maybe kickstarts your hydration plan for the day. And obviously, one of the most important things is going to be having a fun water bottle to drink this out of. So if you don't have that, start there. Get yourself a fun water bottle. Let's make sure you're having enough. And then let's add some of these beverage boosters so you can get more out of the liquids you're drinking. The best part about all of this is you just start to feel really, really good. There is something so beautiful about like laying that foundation, making sure you're checking all the nutrition boxes and then leveling it up. Like that's when we get to live kind of beyond our capacity. We enhance our genetic potential. We move beyond what we're capable of. And wherever you're at on your journey, I want you to know, like, there is no shame in needing to be on the foundational piece. Many of us were there for many years. I know I was for, I sat in that foundational piece for honestly 10 years. I was post-eating disorder. I was really working on the intuitive eating. So I really had to live out that season of my life. So if you're there, awesome. Let's just work on the basics of hydration, work on your food foundations. And if you need help with that, don't forget to check out my resources at jessbrownrd.com. But then from there, we can take it to the next level. And my hope is wherever you fall on that spectrum, you got something out of today and y'all are drinking that water. Big cheers today. I'm cheersing every single one of you out there, and happy eating, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope it strengthened your food journey and empowered you to live boldly in your body. Real quick, sister, before you go, if you liked today's episode, the best way you can thank me is head on over to iTunes, Fuel Her Awesome Podcast, leave a review and subscribe. Then take a screenshot and share it on your social media. Don't forget to tag me at jessbrownrd. And if you're looking for more resources, be sure to check out my website, jessbrownrd.com. I've got info on my e-course, Fuel Her Awesome Food Foundations, my 10-step ebook on how to beat body bullying, and so much more. I cannot wait to chat with you babes again. Until next time, cheers and happy eating.